Hey guys, I'm making myself laugh over here. Hey guys, Omar here, and today we're going to do something special. We're actually going to look at someone else's work as a form of inspiration. I love looking at other photographers' work to see what other people are doing, and it also will sometimes spark something in you to try something new, and you also learn techniques from the masters. And in this episode, this first episode of this sort of photographer spotlight, we're going to look at someone really special, someone whose work I love and have been dying to make this episode. She's the first of our series of spotlighting photographers. I don't think that made any sense. All right, but in the comments below, I'm going to leave a little comment. Let me know, number one, if you like this episode, two, subscribe if you're new here, and three, give me suggestions for the next photographer spotlight, people you like that maybe you want me to dissect and look at. Okay, so our first spotlight is Paola Franqui.
My name is Paola Franqui, also known as Monaris on social media.
She's also known as Monaris on Instagram.
On social media.
And I'm gonna talk about five things that are special about Paola. Okay, number one, she's from Puerto Rico, like me. But the first thing that I want you to notice about her work, and we're just going to take a meta look of it here, we're going to take a quick scroll, is the consistency of the work, the actual look of the work. And we've talked about this before on the channel, but it's something that some of us are great at. We have a look or a style that creatively defines us, and then some of us are like kind of all over the place. We're all a little different, but I love that Paola just has a beautiful tonality to her photographs. They look like old film. And so her post-processing is fantastic. That's number two, which is really number one. But all right, the third thing you'll notice is interesting lens choice for street photography. Street photographers mostly like to shoot 23 millimeter, 35 or 50. And if you notice from her work, Paola likes to use a longer lens, something like, it looks like an 85 or 100, but you can tell by the compression that she's a little bit, and this is probably what I would do, she's a little bit further away from her subjects, which maybe allows her to capture people from a distance. And that's something that maybe if you're not so comfortable with street photography, it looks like a great technique, although this cop right here is like totally staring her down. And so this goes back to the consistency of her work. You can basically maybe pick a lens that you love and just work that lens, just kill it and post all your work from that lens over like a couple of weeks or a month and see if with the post-processing and that lens, you could start get a little bit of traction for what you love. Okay, next, another great thing that Monaris does is she captions her photos. Now, this is an important part of street photography, is a lot of times having a caption or a story with your photograph just gives a little bit more impact. So let's take a look at some of those. So here's a series that Monaris is great at, is she has a reflection series where she'll shoot, you can actually see her in the photograph here. She gets multiple people in the photograph. But she's got a caption. Here's another caption. Here's another reflection with a caption. And here's another caption. So some of them are funny, some of them are poignant, but it's after someone examines the photograph, they're always looking for your caption. So that's something we can learn from a master. Caption your photos. By the way, I'm terrible at it. I'm very literal in my caption, so I'll be just like cat on street. Okay, and the last thing we'll talk about, which is what this whole video was going to be about until I just started going through all her photos and I had to mention reflections and captions and post-processing. But this video was going to be all about, and I was even going to label this as the title, frame within a frame. Monaris, Paola, is excellent at, when she takes photographs, at having a frame, framing her subject in the frame. And I think you could actually just make that a project. Try to get images where your subject is a frame within a frame. So let's go through a bunch of them and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, we'll start here. All right, here's the subject and here's the frame within the frame. There's the subject in this little frame right here. Frame within a frame. Frame within a frame. She waited. This is a good technique. Pick a frame and wait for your subject to enter that little frame and snap away. This is a more popular way that most of us frame our subject, is either between a doorway or two kinds of things. The person is in a frame. So this is one way we usually frame. Oh, she saw you. But what I love that she does, I'll give an example of that next, is when the person is in a complete frame. Like this one here. Oh, good. Remember your titles. So here, of course, she's out of the frame a little bit, but this right here is framing her. Now, this image wouldn't have worked as well. She's such a good, rule of thirds here that this right here balances out the image, but she's frame within a frame. So this one's kind of fun. The person isn't perfectly in the frame, but the image still works. It's great. She also didn't center the window, but the person's kind of almost framed. I like that. Frame within a frame. Okay, this image is great. It has all the elements we talked about, so check it out. So first, we got our subject. Second, we got a great caption, because if you don't get it, it's pretty obvious. Third, our toning is fantastic. And of course, last is our frame within a frame. And what's awesome is this is so cool because we have something going on in the background and the person's on the edge of the frame. Love it. Frame within a frame. Again, a reflection, but also a frame within the frame. Okay, so where's the frame here? Can you spot it? So the frame is, this is Chinatown, by the way. But you can see here, you can see the frame is here. And this image probably wouldn't have worked as well if a person shoots a little bit lower, or is there anything, in the frame that goes through the person's head? Here, frame within the frame. And frame within the frame. I think you get it now, but it's a great technique to try. Maybe just go out and look for frames and have people walk into them. Or just get a friend to pretend to be a stranger and dress them up in different costumes, and they could, street photography is so hard. Anyway, let me know what you thought of the Spotlight series, and give me suggestions below if there's photographers you want me to mention or dissect or talk about more techniques. But we learn so much from looking at each other's work, and Monaris, Paola, is amazing. I love her work. Give her a follow. And I'll see you guys next time.